last video, we kind of did the pilot. Welcome, everybody. Here's Dunky-Mac. Here's Richie. Here's Tessa. This is the gang.
Woo.
So I had all these ideas about, we could do the one with the Fine Young Cannibals dude and Roger Daltrey from The Who. But Rob's suggestion was we need to kind of, for the people who especially have not seen the show before, they need to get to know Dunky. Let's see what's going on in his world. A couple episodes, Day in the Life, season 1, right? He's a crazy guy.
Yeah, we need to know kind of about the Dunkster, his big moments. What makes the Dunk Man the Dunk Man?
What makes the Dunk tick? We did 3 eps, and my criteria was I read the précis little paragraph on IMDb, and anything that was momentous, I intentionally avoided. So I picked 3 very nondescript episodes. So, like in season 1, you do get a little bit of Fine Young Cannibals. You do get a little bit of Roger Daltrey. So I skipped all that.
Yeah, it's interesting because these actually are all 3 pretty good stories.
I thought so as well. It was a really good smattering of the show itself.
You certainly have a skill for reading IMDb summaries.
Well, I think it was just such a good show that I could have picked any 3 and you all would have had the same reaction.
No. There's some really stinkers in the first season, so you managed to pick 3 good ones.
My first criteria could not possibly pass up. Dunky-Mac versus the BeastMaster, Marc Singer.
Your name is Wu.
Oh, hell yeah. I was super excited. I was all in when I saw Marc Singer on the credits.
Fuck yes.
Get away from the smell of human stench.
Yeah, and he was really putting on the acting chops too,
He's ripping off Sling Blade.
What you got in there, Wash?
Yeah.
Ain't you got no mom and daddy to tend to it?
It's the same voice as the guy as Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade.
I absolutely, yes, have that as a note, yes.
But didn't this come out before Sling Blade?
Yeah, it had to have. That means Billy Bob Thornton actually ripped off Marc Singer.
Did it? I don't know. I thought...
We'd have to check the timing.
That's the other thing. How come there are no retarded immortals?
Yeah, good question. Well, maybe they lose their heads early.
You think they wouldn't last because they'd be an easy, quick kill for any random bad guy to come along. But apparently you absorb their power and their memories. Would you really want to absorb a retarded guy's power and memories? You might immediately shit yourself or something.
Well, see, they say that a lot, but it seems to have no actual effect on the show or this character. They just say that you absorb their memories and personalities, but that they do nothing at all with it. I don't know. Maybe that happens later on, but...
It does. There is a dark quickening.
Yeah, they have a few episodes that specifically... In fact...
The second one here, Band of Brothers, really deals with that too.
Yeah, the second one that we have, we'll get to it. They mention a light quickening, which is, yeah. Speaking of seeing Marc Singer in the opening credits, I also saw Wes Studi, famous Native American actor from Last of the Mohicans and Geronimo and Street Fighter.
And he was in Heat too.
He was also the Sphinx in...
Yes, Mystery Men.
Yeah, and they did nothing at all really with him in this episode.
Well, he had an important role where every time they had Wes Studi, it was just to pump up Dunky-Mac. Like, wow, this white man can track better than anyone I've ever met in my life. And at the end of it, after doing that all episode, he's like, how did you possibly take out these 3 people? No one could do that. You're amazing. That's his role, was to pump up Dunky-Mac.
But again, Richie's really just kind of a bitch in this one. In most of them, he's a bitch. He doesn't do anything. Connor says, "Bring my bags up, will you?" That's that's the extent of his activity in the episode, carrying bags for Connor.
Richie and Tessa both are kind of the, B characters. They're the sidekicks to the main guy. So while Dunky's off dunking around doing Dunky shit, a lot of times Richie and Tessa, episode after episode, are kind of hanging out together or doing things or working things behind the scenes. So that led me to this question, okay? If Richie ever got drunk with Tessa, do you think he'd try to throw one in her? Or would he be scared of getting his head chopped off or whatever? Tessa, she's like, I'm going to go off into the woods and have some kind of weird ayahuasca trip with your shaman friend.
Yes.
So she does that. And immediately...
That's one fine hunk of woman.
Yes, she is.
I mean, Richie's had 7, 8 episodes. So at this point, he should be like, oh, she's going to get kidnapped. And Duncan should be like, oh, she's going to get kidnapped. Because literally that's what she does. She gets kidnapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like my new boots?
Afternoon, ma'am.
Don't move. The beast is fierce, but if we show no fear, we might escape.
You've just got to show them who's in command.
You owe me your life, but I'll accept this as payment.
Some sort of fertility ride or something.
Where you going, girl?
10 seconds after she's gone from out of his presence.
Do we think she's setting women back a few decades, or I mean, she generally comes off like an intelligent, assertive. She's got her own career, job. She can deal with all this head cutting off shit. She has the psychological skills where in this one she gets the brother to think that the other brother's trying to have like rape her.
I don't trust him. They were fighting over me.
Yeah, she did do that. Yes, she was manipulating them. I liked that.
Marc Singer didn't fall for it.
I don't rape anyone I ain't married to.
Wait, was that an actual line from the?
No, he was very forward. He was like already talking marriage like as soon as he found her.
We're going to be married and have French fried potatoes.
French fried potatoes?
Yeah, it very quickly became like a put the lotion in the basket type of situation.
No, I think a lot of people in like Appalachia watching this episode would see their approach to Tessa as being very honorable because they weren't trying to kidnap and rape her. They were trying to kidnap and marry her.
And nobody intends to hurt one hair of your head. Nor to offer you anything that might dishonor you in any way.
Then what do you want?
Ma'am, I come up here to ask for your hand in marriage.
And then rape her.
That's just how it's done.
That's how your ma and your grandma, that's just like how we got them.
Saying that Borat, throwing the bag over Pam Anderson was the correct way they did Kazakhstan.
I also have written here, old Carl was quite a colorful character.
Was that the shaman?
Tell him I'm going to visit your favorite shaman.
Oh.
Yeah, the mountain man that was just like living off the land.
Well, yeah, isn't it weird how when Dunky's going to go and visit his old shaman immortal friend, and you think he'd be some Native American guy, but no, he's just some redneck hillbilly dude. That was a choice they made. That was something.
He could have been a Pict or something. He could have been like, 1,000 years old and just always lived off the land.
Yeah. Why should I bother with this newfangled electricity stuff or indoor plumbing? Never had to for the last 500 years or whatever.
Dunky hears that Tessa hasn't checked in, so he gets his bag, and Richie's like, "Oh man, I don't want to stay behind." And my first thought is like, Duncan, before you peel out, check the trunk.
Yeah, because he's done that before.
Yeah, that's totally a Richie thing to do. They got Magua talking about he wasn't talking about gray hair.
When the gray hair is dead, Magua will eat his heart.
He will cut the heart out of gray hair. No, he was talking about yellow hair. That means Tessa.
Before he dies, Magua will put his children under the knife.
Caleb Cole, his son Joshua, and Eddie Doyle, they're wanted men. But Caleb, he knows this country better than anybody, natives included. He's kind of spooky that way.
This was 1 year after the release of Last of the Mohicans, and it was shortly before he got the roles for Geronimo, Heat, Street Fighter. So this was
on his upswing. Yeah,
he was an up and coming actor. How cool would it be to be a decent Native American actor? You get roles just coming out your ass.
I wonder if Marc Singer had a talk with him about what it's like when you're coming back down.
Save your money, pal.
I was on the upslope once too, kid.
That V money doesn't flow forever. They didn't even bring me on the BeastMaster TV series.
They did actually. Eventually, they did bring him in to bring up the flagging ratings.
We just got actually about the BeastMaster TV series.
Yeah, sorry.
So Dunky goes tearing off.
My deputies will be here soon. You're welcome to come along with us.
You'll slow me down.
You don't even know this country.
I've been here before.
Wes Studi fulfills his role of saying, "Oh, white man, you'll never be able to. Don't you need supplies?" "No, I'm just fine. I'm fucking Duncan Mac."
Damn fool.
A sword?
As Magua is tracking white man, he's like, ponytail hair. I've never seen. He's running on his toes while tracking simultaneously. This is amazing.
Tracks are far apart on the balls of his feet. He's running.
Running?
Running.
And here's the thing, though, is as you're tracking him, it's like 100 yards of sprinting and then stop. And for some reason, he just stood here still, staring off into the distance for 30 minutes. He would have found Tessa so much faster, but he kept having his immortal flashbacks of all the times.
That's just something you got to deal with when you're an immortal. There's no getting around it.
Did y'all hear when the one of the hillbilly henchmen said boon companion?
Yes.
I'm just a boon companion along for the pure hell of it.
Did that stand out at all? He's like hiding the fact that he reads all kinds of books and stuff, and Paul just uses it for toilet paper, but I actually read it.
Surprised he didn't also throw in an erstwhile there, too.
I don't want to say it was out of place because we didn't know enough about the guy, but maybe he had some shit going on. Maybe he was taking like some like Phoenix.edu courses or something. You know, he could have been trying to improve himself.
Yeah, or maybe he was like a nerd for years and, did all kinds of reading and just had a break one day and went into the woods.
Yeah, before he went into the woods, he was really practicing for the SATs.
What I found upon watching this again, it's been many years since I've seen this episode, is they weren't like Tess is getting kidnapped by an immortal and his 2 hillbilly adopted children. They hinted after a while where he's like, I've been reborn before. He said that. And yeah, Paul adopted us. So they'd give like a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle there. So first time watching this, if somebody's watching this, they might think they're departing from the formula of having Dunky challenge another immortal every single episode. I thought that they actually did a decent job.
We had that on him.
You know this sword?
No.
We're breaking camp.
Well, and then just showing that he had like deep psychological problems and stuff because he's always finding like the same girl. Like when he sees someone who like resembles his one love, like that's what drove him insane. That's why he stays out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and Tessa figures it out because, again, she gets all psychological and she's like, or something.
Oh, yeah, she's no dummy.
He's your adopted son because you can't have children. You are one of them.
What do you know about me?
Because he's like you.
I thought so. The minute I saw that sword. So he's told you all about our kind.
And then Dunky takes a few minutes for a montage where he goes full native. He's like, let's get rid of the shirt and let my hair down and wrap up my arms, my forearms. And he goes just totally native.
There was, in fact, a slow-motion Baywatch run along the river.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was very excited for that.
That's the Dunky's going native montage. It's like after getting all Indianed out with his chinos on.
But yeah, they even had off-brand Baywatch music. And Tessa's working that psychological shit like throughout the whole kidnapping. Tessa's shit with a sword, but man, she can fuck with your head.
Give her a gun, Dunky. Why not give her some bear mace or something? Shoot them in the chest twice, and then they fall down and die, and they're not going to be up for a good 45 seconds or more. And then you could run, or chop off their head, or open an artery, or do whatever. Foley artist hijinks. Every single time that they point their almost exclusively double barrel shotguns at somebody, it makes a shot.
I noticed that. Yeah, I have that.
Shotgun racking noises.
Clickety clicks, click.
It's a fucking double barrel shotgun. There's no pump.
There's nothing to click. There's no click from that.
We're waiting for parts to fall off the weapon because it's just like it shouldn't be making that much noise.
Why is it rattling? What's happening? So when it came to the final showdown, did y'all think were you waiting for Marc Singer to throw his bladed device at him?
Yes, his caper.
Your caper.
Actual fight scene.
Yes.
Pretty cool with the axe.
Yes, that was awesome.
I like that just, by sheer circumstance, I have your sword. Well, I have your axe. That was kind of cool. I like that.
I was disappointed that, there wasn't as much body oil as I'm used to seeing when Marc Singer fights.
True.
There needs to be more gleaming and glistening happening, and it just wasn't there. So I was looking for that, and it just wasn't. Sigh.
I wonder if immortals actually would lose bowel control.
Yeah, because he does. He quickens in the water, and it should have been a lot of dead fish.
Do immortals have to wear diapers adult diapers? Because when you're getting electrocuted, you lose control of your right. So wouldn't they be constantly pissing and shitting themselves?
Just at the very end, how the cops don't take any statements, don't hold him for questioning. They just let him wander off into the woods.
Hey, he killed 3 people in the woods. Who cares?
You're the most amazing son of a bitch I've seen in all my years. You know that? For 100 years, no one's even known how to do what you just did.